me my theme music.
What's up, Buffs Nation, and welcome into Buffs News Weekly Live. I'm your host, Russ Dornish, and today we are going to be diving into all of the coaching information that we have absorbed over the last 24 to 48 hours. For Colorado, a lot of big changes and a lot of good changes to the staff. We're also going to talk a little bit of recruiting because in the last 2 hours or so, a bunch of players have been offered by Colorado. All defensive linemen, 3 different players offered in the last hour or 2 hours or so. Very interesting to see that kind of all pour out at the same time with those announcements hitting social media. So I want to dive into those players and what we might expect from them and what we might be seeing from that. So let's, of course, dive in. Welcome in, Joe. What's up, Coach Dre? Appreciate you guys dropping by on this Wednesday afternoon. Before we get into everything, of course, the usual housekeeping. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you hit that like button while you're in here. Doesn't cost you anything. Helps out the channel as much as you can. I'll do my best to get to everybody's comments, but if you want to make sure that your comment is read, of course, you can throw us a super chat that goes towards a Buy Russ a Coffee fund, just a couple bucks the way. Always nice, always appreciated, and I'm very thankful for everybody just for watching in general. So we will get going and get started on this. We have got a lot going on. Shiny King, let's go. Guarantee Russ have a consistent running game. Guaranteed Colorado has a consistent running game this year. Agreed. We're going to run the ball, guys. We are going to run the ball. What's up, Kai Moore? Welcome in, Adrian Hall. Good afternoon from Georgia. Hope you guys are warm. I have no idea what the weather is now. I was down in Florida last week, and man, was it cold. What's up, Rob? Welcome in. Appreciate you dropping by as well. Let's talk about the big news of the last 48 hours or so. Okay, of course, we have slowly heard the changes to the coaching staff. Now, the good news, and probably the biggest news of the year, stuff we already know. It's not breaking news or anything like that, guys. But it looks like, of course, same OC, same DC. It's the rest of the staff that is evolving around Coach Prime and Colorado. Of course, we lost Coach Dancy and Coach Lodeholt to Mississippi State. Dancy made complete sense. He's going back home. Lodeholt joining him there to be a part of that program. Now we have to replace both of those guys. We also have to find some other coaches on the staff. And of course, if you guys remember, late in last offseason was when the NCAA changed their rules about the number of coaches you could have on staff. They made it unlimited. Unlimited coaches that can coach on the field. And so I think what we're seeing right now is we are seeing coach start to utilize that more and more. So let's go down the list of different coaching changes that we have seen thus far. So the first big one that I think is absolutely massive is the change for Coach Dancy. So Coach Dancy was the edge room coach. That has officially been taken on by George Hilo and announced by Colorado. Of course, George Hilo was a defensive analyst that was brought in, linebackers coach at Michigan, has a very long history of being a fantastic defensive mind and fantastic linebackers coach. He will now be taking on Coach Dancy's role after he has left for that edge room. Massive get. A lot of people were worried that we might lose Hilo this offseason. And for those of you that don't realize this, George Hilo was instrumental on this team when it came to different game planning and stuff that he did with Coach Livingston. They had a very, very close working relationship there where they were doing a lot of things together. So being able to retain him on staff, give him a promotion to a position coach on the team is a massive get and absolutely great that we were able to retain him. Now on the other sides, the other big one was special teams. We did not have a special teams coach last year. That's right. Our special teams that were absolutely atrocious did not have an official coach coaching them. They have promoted Coach Pollock, who has been with Coach Prime for a little while, who was an analyst coach for the team, has now been promoted to the full-time special teams coach. So we finally have somebody in that position. The other pieces of information that we got happen to have a lot of implications for what's going on, and probably the one position that everybody can agree is the one that needed the most upgrades, and that's the offensive line. Now, do we know who the offensive line head coach is? We do not yet. Now, there could be some potential hints towards that happened yesterday. I'll cover that in just a moment. But what we do know is we do know who the co-assistant coaches are. Yes, that's right, co. That means we will have 2 assistant coaches on the offensive line and 1 head coach that has yet to be named. The 2 co-assistant coaches include Coach Gunner, who is already on the roster. For those of you that don't know who he is, that is going to be a great get for Colorado. I want to make sure I pronounce and get all names right and all that stuff, just because I know that's what we all want, right? It is. So we have got Gunner White. He's taking over as offensive line coach, Gunner White. And then the other one is George Hegeman, which if you guys have been watching the show, you know that I mentioned the reason why Colorado does not need to scramble to get an offensive line coach, the reason why they're still recruiting offensive line and getting commitments without an offensive line head coach was because of George Hegeman. George Hegeman is now your assistant offensive line coach alongside Gunner White. So there we go. We've got 2 guys in that position. We'll end up with 3 coaches in total. We don't know who that head offensive line coach is. However, the one speculative thing, at least that he probably maybe got an interview for that position, would be, of course, Colorado alum Matt McChesney. Matt McChesney talked about yesterday being a very big day for him, for the Buffs. He took a picture in Boulder at the facility. A lot of people took that to mean that he was going to be named the coach. That didn't happen. I think what it was I think he did get an interview to be the offensive line coach. That's my guess of why he was there, what was going on, just putting 2 and 2 together. Again, a lot of the stuff that you guys can think out there as far as these positions go and what's happening, you can find a lot of deductive reasoning to find that out very quickly. So that is my guess of who interviewed. Now, is he probably the only one that interviewed? Maybe not. Is he the one that's going to get the job? We don't know yet. He may not be. Okay, it just depends on what happened in that conversation. But I believe that's what happened yesterday. But we do not have to rush into anything because we do have those 2 other guys on staff. The other massive bit of news, guys, and this one is probably the biggest, okay? The biggest out there. We do have confirmation that Coach Flea is no longer with the program. If it is because of the health issues that some people have cited, then we really do wish him the best. We hope that he gets healthy. We hope that it does not affect him long-term or anything like that. It sucks that that's would be the reason why he's no longer with the program. It's unfortunate. We have to move on. And I do hope that he has a full recovery of whatever it is, and that he can get his health back if that's the case. Again, full speculation on what we've been hearing, just based on well-off videos and things like that over the year, that obviously there was some kind of health situation going on towards the end of the year anyway. So we do not have Coach Flea as the running backs coach. What we did find out is there was an assistant running back coach named, and that is Tommy Robinson, which, by the way, if you dive into who Tommy Robinson is, wow, does he have a long track record. Just like Andrew Swayze, who we added as our head strength and conditioning coach, who had a very long and tenured history as a strength and conditioning coach, so does Tommy Robinson. Most recently with Texas A&M, he's been with LSU. He's been with all of the Blue Bloods, it seems, being a running backs coach at some point or another. He is a massive get for the program, and guess what? He is only the assistant coach. They made sure that that was known. That means that there is somebody yet to be named as the head coach. The only thing that I'm going to share with you guys, because I think I kind of did deduct who it might be, and I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to give it away. I also don't want to leak it and get in trouble. The program is very good about getting on people for leaking that bit of information. I don't want to be that. Just know that there is a reason Tommy Robinson is going to be the assistant, and there's a potential reason this other person could become the head running back coach. And trust me, it's going to be a good hire. The team already knows who it is, guys. The team already knows who it is. It just has not been made official. This has happened multiple times with the program. If you pay attention, the coaches are in place a long time before they actually show up and are in place. Coach Prime knows players they are going to add way before we know that they're going to add them. He knows the coaches that he's going to have on the staff way before it's made public and it's out there. Okay, so all of that stuff is things that happen behind the scenes. The fact is, we don't need to freak out and panic. There is some good coaches coming. The running back coach is taken care of. We're going to have a running backs coach when that person joins the program and starts coaching. And when that becomes made public and official, who knows? It could be weeks, months. It could be at any time, guys. But that's where we're at. The big things, though, is, and I want to really emphasize this for everybody, every year, Coach Prime is improving. He is learning. He is getting that much better. And you just see it now in what he is doing with his staff. Having guys like Damian Lewis, Warren Sapp, George Hilo, Andrew Swayze on strength and conditioning, now Tommy Robinson with the running backs. Those are all guys that have been around the game for a long time, are well respected by pro players. Okay, well respected by pro players. They all have brought their own mentality. They kind of have that old school mentality that Deion, Coach Prime, did back in his playing days. He's bringing that back to this program because he wants to put these kids in the best potential position to become NFL players and to be the best NFL players they possibly can be. So that's what's going on right now, guys, with the staff. Lots of moving pieces, lots of massive upgrades, if I'm being honest. Even though we're losing out on some players, even though we're losing out on a young up-and-coming coach in Coach Lodeholt, we're getting as a unit better because now we're going to have 3 coaches instead of 2 coaches there helping out. You're going to have more help and bandwidth. On top of that, you're having more experience. 2 running backs coach that are going to be very experienced, very good, have very good resumes to be able to coach up that running back room and make it better. The O-line room will get better. The edge room now with Hilo taking over, that's going to be probably an impacted and better overall group as well as team because of that promotion and keeping him here. And then, of course, the thing that we've already talked about at length, Andrew Swayze, that addition is absolutely massive to the strength and conditioning program. So you see what Coach Prime is building. You see what kind of team he's building. And honestly, what this screams and replicates to me starts with the Andrew Swayze hire. You look at the Miami teams that he was a part of in the 2000s, that U mentality that was there back then, the old school mentality, the players that came out of that program, the players that came before that, back during Warren Sapp's day, back during Coach Prime's day when they played that old school type of football. My belief is that is what Coach Prime is pushing for here. He is pushing for that old school mentality culture where we're going to push everybody. We're going to work harder than everybody. And while we're going to have talent, we are going to also outwork you on top of that, which is going to pay off in droves and get us to the top that much quicker than it would have before. And trust me, it's a massive change from where Colorado was 2 years ago, because honestly, that team from the 1-11 team was one of the softest teams in all of college football, and we are changing that mentality. Let's see what you guys are saying in here and see what you guys have to talk about. Yes, technically, T, a lot of people have been saying they want an O-line coach that's going to be here for the long haul. Matt McChesney would be that guy. He would not be looking to go anywhere. The guy has been coaching O-linemen since he retired from the NFL, which, by the way, I had a bunch of people in my mentions arguing over the idea of Matt becoming the coach and how he has no experience. He's never done this before. Do people not realize, like, he is working with high schoolers on a daily basis and has been for years. He has connections with colleges. He has been sending linemen to play at the top level of college football, and those linemen have been very, very successful. So to say that he has no experience, he knows what high school kids are like. He knows what high school kids are looking for, because guess what? He's also been a part of the recruiting process for all these years. He ties those kids to programs. He speaks to those programs. He knows what they're looking for. He knows what to look for in a kid. He is an evaluator of talent. Like, that is what Matt McChesney is. Matt McChesney right now, again, I will say this. Do I agree with him as a person and some of his beliefs and some of his outspokenness that he has had over the years? No, but that is okay. We need to get back to the whole human element where we can agree to disagree on things. But the fact is that he is experienced as a coach. He has been coaching offensive and defensive linemen for years. He has put them in the highest level of football. It's what he does for a living, guys. So for him to transition from that role to being a college version of that is not that big of a difference. Okay, so I wanted to throw that out there first because I saw people arguing like he has no experience, he shouldn't get the opportunity, blah, blah, blah. It does not make sense when it looks at it that way. Okay, it really, really doesn't. So that's where we're at. Hope Coach Stapp's still with him. He has also need. I haven't seen him. So he just posted, by the way, a picture. He's in Florida doing his usual offseason stuff, wearing Colorado gear still. My guess is part of the agreement of him coming here was he was going to get a longer offseason. And just so you guys know, a lot of the offseason workout that we're doing right now before spring ball is not football focused. It is strength and conditioning focused. So a lot of the position coaches aren't going to be there every single day. They're actually recruiting now. They're doing other things during this time period. So the fact that we don't see Warren Sapp there right this moment is not a bad thing. Okay. He is taking his own off season. He's enjoying his time before he comes back for the grind when the spring season starts, and then they get a small break before they start the off season training. So that's why he's there. Absolutely. Whatever's going on with Flea, we really, really do hope that it is okay for that. Okay. I really, really do. Tommy's a great hire. He has a lot of experience with great running backs. Yep. If Tommy is the assistant running back coach, then we must have a beast at the head position. Again, I don't know officially who it is. I have guessed who it is. I have been told by someone that I may be right and that I shouldn't share it. So I don't want to put that out there, but all I will say is yes, he would be. He would be a beast at that position, and we would probably have the best two running backs coaches potentially. That's where it's at. Coach Prime will take his sweet time hiring an O-line coach. He's not in any rush. There's no reason to be in any rush. We have George Hagem in there. We have now, all our coaches in place. Gunnar White. We don't need to rush it. We have guys working with them. Do you think they know who the O-line coach is? I don't know. I mean, if yesterday McChesney did go in for an interview and it went well, then maybe they do know, and they know he's going to be named the offensive line coach. It's been quiet since then. I don't know who the O-line coach is. I don't. That one I don't. Coach Sapp is on vacation. Okay, guys, he's on vacation. We don't need to bring Al Bunny in as running back coach. Oh, gosh, of course, Gearhead. I love the jokes. It's good. Yep, he's in Florida at Tampa Bay playoff game. Everything good. Yeah, he's just enjoying his offseason. I think it's Eric Bieniemy. I will tell you it's not Eric Bieniemy. That I will tell you. Californians are moving to Denver. Colorado now going virally because of the fires. Well, a lot of that happens. We also, by the way, guys, Colorado does have fires. We have a lot of fires. Maybe not as bad as California because how densely populated the state can be at times in different places, but Colorado has fires too. I heard Eric Bieniemy isn't a good coach. That's why every resort is it. Yeah, he has not gotten the head coaching job in the NFL because of the reputation he has, and he has slowly just been falling down the ladder. He is not somebody on this team's radar. People want this person and that person that will pull a Phil and be gone after 1 year. Can't keep having these coaching turnovers. It unfortunately will not happen. Not at a position coach. No, there's not that many people out there that want to be a position coach full time. That's the thing, guys. They do not want to be a position coach full time. That's a stepping stone job. It always will be. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Coach Prime's been lucky because he's been having his buddies be a lot of the position coaches, which is why they've stayed as long as they have. But I know that a lot of fans don't like those guys. You know, there was fans that don't like Coach Hart. He's been around consistently. They didn't like Coach Flea. Flea's been around with Coach Prime very consistently at the running backs position. The fact of the matter is, if you're a very good position coach, you will get promoted. You will. That's just the case. Matt, not an O-line coach. He just trains high school O-linemen. Why would Prime bring in another year of unexperienced O-line on vocal point where we lack and doesn't make sense? Again, he's not inexperienced, and he does train high school O-linemen. So how is he not an O-lineman coach if he coaches O-linemen? He preps them for college, and they are all very, very good. Big Teasy, what is up? Yeah, it's all Coach Swayze's time now. It is Coach Swayze's time to take those boys and get them right quick, and he's going to do that. Okay, he is going to do that. Gunner and Big George will hold it down. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's also time to let Buddy thing go too and get the person that's good for the job. And I think that's what's happening, guys. I think that's what's happening. Obviously didn't keep, people around. He's been slowly moving those guys out, with some of the originals, the OGs. Flea's been a long time guy with Coach Prime, and the fact that he's gone, even if it is health related, is still a big deal. Because if not, they could have just went with Tommy Robinson until he got better or wanted to come back. So that's where it's at for real. Greatest concern is the O-line. Of course it is. Of course the greatest concern is the O-line. Yeah, Matt has put over 500 players in D1 universities, and not just any D1 universities. They've gone on to the NFL too. He has put players in the NFL. So that's where it's at. That's where it's at. Russ, do you think George Hegeman is a permanent choice for O-line? No, he's an assistant coach, Eric. He's going to be an assistant coach. I think he could be with us long term. Absolutely. I think this is where he might feel comfortable and he can set some roots down. He's a guy that I don't know if he wants to go further up the ladder, but only he can say that. But he is our assistant O-line coach. And so for now, that's what we know. We know that is what the case is. We need another linebacker coach to help Coach Hart. We need another linebacker coach to help Coach Hart out. Hilo's there too. The edge room, I'm sure, is going to work kind of hand in hand with the linebacker room. That's just kind of how it's known, that linebackers and, edges are kind of the same things, especially when it comes to the outside. Middle linebackers, yeah, Hart probably works with them more directly. We'll see. Maybe we add some extra guys. You'll never know, guys. You never know. Coach Prime could have some friends that want to, become an analyst or a part-time coach. That now that we have that kind of unlimited option means that's where that's happening, guys. Matt was supposed to go live today. What a coincidence. A day after taking the interview with Prime. He goes live every day. Are you saying he didn't go live? I know he was scheduled to go live. That was a for sure thing. But are you saying that he didn't go live and that it's timing, or you think he's going to announce it on his live show today? I don't think that's what's happening. Just FYI, I don't think that's what's happening. Let me zero. I can't even remember how to do his darn channel all the time. Needless to say. I like having that extra linebacker assistant coach. It's always good to have the extra coaches. Always. Yeah, I've noticed that. He never is on time. So we'll see. My guess is he'll still go live. My guess is he won't talk about what happened yesterday. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people, including you guys, in the comments asking why he was in CU yesterday, and he'll probably not say anything. If he doesn't say anything, then he probably did interview for the job. Yeah. If he says something like, I was there for this, then, we get to that answer. But my guess is that he can't say anything. And so if he just completely ignores that, then that probably tells you everything you need to hear. He postponed the live earlier. Something is brewing. Very well could be. Very well could be. Matt would help. You know what I love about Matt, guys? Football fanatic. This is why I would like the Matt hire. Not necessarily because the work that he'll do with the O-line, although he'll make them nasty. He will make them work. It'll be old school. You don't think that Matt kind of compares to who Swayze is, to who these old school coaches, who Tommy Robinson is, these old school guys that have old school mentality? Yeah, they're going to fit in just fine. But what Matt's really going to excel at, guys, recruiting. Okay? Matt knows high school linemen. He knows recruiting. He knows how to evaluate talent, guys. You want to talk about us building up the offensive line at Colorado and getting a pipeline of guys coming through that door? Matt would be able to do it because he does it right now. He places guys with the Michigans, with the Alabamas, with the Georgias, with LSU. All of those programs have guys that have worked out with Matt at some point or another, and he helped them get to that level. So instead of that happening, they'll come to Colorado. You don't think that if Matt is named the offensive line coach, that Brett Kolajay and Deacon Schmidt don't commit on immediately as soon as that happens? They are here in a heartbeat. They were already going to be here, if I'm being honest. They were already going to be here because they wanted to be here. But then you add their training coach in Matt McChesney to the staff, they're coming guaranteed, and they commit tomorrow if that happens. 100%. Okay, so he confirmed on the JV show that he did get a 1-hour interview yesterday with Prime. I mean, there you go. He can't speak about it. I mean, there you go. I told you guys, that's what it would come down to. They're going to tell him not to talk about it. It makes sense. It's all lining up. Him saying it's a big day. Him showing the vision in Boulder. You knew that was an interview to become the O-line coach. Now the question is he going to be named the head O-line coach? Is he going to be named the head guy? That's going to be very interesting to see. Matt can be a good run game coordinator. Yeah, Matt knows all the top linemen in the country. The good thing is Matt is definitely known to all linemen that's in college and high school kids. They love him for sure. Exactly. He's going to go a long way with younger guys. He really is. Matt has connections all over the country for sure. Can Matt recruit outside Colorado? Kai, just FYI. People come from other states to train with Matt McChesney at his gym. There are linemen from other states that come to Colorado to train with Matt. There are NFL guys that come to Colorado to train with Matt. Okay, so he is well known in the offensive lineman community that if you want to go places as an offensive lineman, you're going to go train with Matt. That's just the case. It is. He is one of the best trainers in the, how you have those quarterback gurus, Patrick Mahomes, quarterback coach. I went and played with him, and coached him, and I did all that. And so people from all over the country go to train with him because of what he's done. Matt is that way when it comes to defensive linemen and offensive linemen, both of them. He absolutely is. Yeah, Matt said they had to postpone today's live, which very well could mean an announcement is coming. If we're being honest and an announcement is coming, why wouldn't he announce it on a show? Why wouldn't he announce it on a show and make a big deal about it? That makes sense to me. It would make sense that it's going to happen. He should be named the head guy. The Colorado connection in state would benefit CU in the trenches. Absolutely. I don't think he'll be O-line coach, but definitely a good hire as an analyst for sure. We'll have to see. Matt will definitely stay at CU because he wants his son to play for CU in the future. Well, he has the ties to the program, guys. I don't know, and I don't think that Matt, his goal would be to get to the NFL. I don't think Matt's goal would be to get to Georgia or Bama or Michigan. It's his alma mater. When you get alma mater guys into your program, and Tech, if you're still here in the comments, you asked about getting guys who are going to stay in positions. Yeah, Matt's going to stay because he's an alum. He has every reason. If he gets paid decent money, he likes the job, he likes what he's doing, and he's successful, he would be here for a very long time as the O-line coach at Colorado. 100%. All of Prime's coaches that came with him were proven over high school and Power 5. Buddy coaches' comments just pure hating. I trust Prime football judgment over naysaying internet know-it-alls. I mean, I get that. I do. But we have to look at it. I don't think it's a buddy thing. I don't think that they were in the positions because they were his buddies. I think they were in the positions because they were qualified. Now, were some of those positions places that we were lacking in and not doing as well? And in most programs, do those coaches get let go if that's not succeeding the way it should be? Yes. And who knows? I mean, there's a lot that could be said about that. A lot. I don't love daddy ball comments. I don't love the whole buddy coaches. I get that. And I do believe that they were qualified to coach their positions. When those positions struggle, though, you have to wonder if Coach Prime is willing to make changes at those places rather than the other places where he has kind of a revolving door going through those coaching rooms. That's all. I agree. Anybody in the comments saying just, buddy coaches, we can stick away from that. Matt is probably the biggest lover of CU on the planet. Now, don't get me wrong, it's other bigger names, but he would definitely help out and be a great hire. He's from CU and will stay. Exactly. Do you think the fact that Coach Prime's telling Jerry Jones the Cowboys is a sign an extension is imminent? So going back to this, Eric, and what's going on, if you guys haven't watched, because not a lot of people have watched it, by the way, go watch my video breaking down why Prime to the Cowboys is not happening. There is way too many moving parts for that to make sense. Now, what I want to say about that and expand on it right here is here's what I think is going to happen, guys. I really do. I think we're going to give Coach Prime an extension. I'd say 4 to 5 years. And here's what can happen. Coach Prime can go to the NFL in 4 to 5 years and coach Shador, Travis, Shiloh. He can coach all of them on the same team because their rookie contracts will be up. At least Travis and Shador's will. Shiloh probably not getting the first round pick, maybe, late round, whatever. The fact is that Coach Prime could have the opportunity then because they could go to free agency, sign with the team together, be with Coach Prime again, and he can get his way and coach. Plus, he can go out and pick his team based on location, roster, all of that stuff, rather than who can draft Shador right now, who has a good situation. As bad as this sounds, and I saw one YouTube comment, they'll probably comment again, they comment on the video. Well, why wouldn't Coach Prime go to the Cowboys without Shador? They're the best. They were the best. They're such a good team to go to. They're a coach's dream is what the comment said. I laugh at that. Please, if anybody else are Cowboys fans in the comments, please tell me that you're not that crazy to think that the Cowboys are that ready to make a run after the most recent years of play and that they're literally a coach away from being a Super Bowl contender. Please let me know if I'm crazy or not. And I want to hear if there's anybody who's a Cowboys fan, that's who I want to hear from. All of us outsiders, I'm sure all believe the same thing of that looks like it's an issue waiting to start. You got Jerry Jones pulling the strings, never making the right decisions. You've got the Dak Prescott contract, which is now not looking so hot, and they're stuck with it. They are stuck with it. And you've got other contracts coming up, players that'll be going in and out. There's a lot of stuff going on there that I don't think it is the good time for Coach Prime to take that job. Could he take the Cowboys job in 4 to 5 years? Yes, I absolutely think he could. Cowboys are coach killers. The Cowboys' problem is Jerry Jones. Low 5 years, Coach Prime, the entire family of the Falcons. Hey, I mean, as soon as their rookie contracts are up, if Shadur's rookie contract and Travis's rookie contract are up in 5 years because of that fifth-year option, they could just not sign with their team and go wherever they want at that point. They absolutely could. There's no guarantee Shador will still be in the league 4 to 5 years from now. Of course, there's no guarantee anybody is. But it doesn't matter because it's not like Coach Prime can force his way to be the coach of the Tennessee Titans now. You're crazy because Prime will come in and change the culture. For the Cowboys, So Big Bro's one of the people that think that the Cowboys are Coach Prime away from the Super Bowl. Got it. Every coach who leaves the Cowboys doesn't ever coach again. It wouldn't even make sense for Prime to take any job in the NFL at the moment, let's be honest. Correct, and that's what I'm trying to say. It is not a good time for him to go to the NFL. There's no opportunity that makes sense to him right now. Could I see him eventually jump to the NFL at this point with what he's been saying and talking about? Maybe that becomes a goal. Yes, I absolutely could. But at this point, I don't think that's what is going on. I think what's going on is negotiation tactics with his organization, with the Colorado, trying to get everything that he wants. And I talked about this in the video. Go watch it, guys. because I've heard a lot of people say, well, just give him all the money he wants. It's not a money thing. There's a lot of other moving parts to this contract that I don't think a lot of people realize, especially when it comes to the college game versus the NFL. There is a lot more language that needs to happen in the contract. There is a lot more incentives that need to be added. Not to mention, by the way, the University of Colorado is government ran. It is the state of Colorado. They have to approve any coaching salary, and it has to go through all of the processes there and be vetted, and has to be approvable by the state. There's a lot more to it than just, here's $15 million, be our coach for the next 5 years. Okay? That's why it's going to take a little bit of time. I'll let you guys go after the guy in the comments for the Cowboys stuff. Absolutely. Atlanta would be nasty work. Ended off back where it started. I would love that. I would root for the Falcons for sure. That would just be absolutely insane to imagine, like Shador there, Travis there, just building that Falcon team up back to what they used to be when they had, like, I would go back to the Vic days closer than, further back, but man, those are some fun teams to watch. That would be interesting. Yeah, Prime and Shador are not going to the Cowboys. Shador's not going to the Cowboys. Adam Schefter said it this morning. Shador is not going to the Cowboys. If Prime went to the Cowboys to coach him, he's going there without Shador. It is impossible to trade for Shador Sanders. The top 5 teams, 3 of them are looking for quarterbacks. They are not going to trade out of the top 3. And that other team in the top 5 that isn't looking for a quarterback, named the New England Patriots, they would love to have Travis Hunter and not want to drop to 12th. The Cowboys have the 12th pick, guys. It's not happening. Coach Prime would not have this kind of freedom in the NFL. That's true, too. We can keep chalking it up. Just chalking it up. I mean, yeah, Troy Aikman, a lot of people are saying that. It's not a good job right now. It isn't. Why go there, coach for the Cowboys, and by the time you can finally maybe get Shador there, you're no longer coaching? Imagine that. He goes to the Cowboys. He fails. 3 years, he fails. No chance. He's out of the NFL. That's why you got to pick a good job if you're going up there. Look at all the other college coaches that have made that transition, and then they never stayed in the NFL, and they had to come back to the college game. Dallas fans are so blind. It's bigger than coaching wrongs in Dallas, but that's another story. I'm a Dallas fan, but most are so blind. And Brandon, I appreciate the honesty there. We can be honest about our own teams and where they are at. Okay, you talked to me 2 years ago before Coach Prime came to Colorado. I would tell you we were a dumpster fire and we're not going to be fixed. And it was going to take a lot of stuff to fix it. Not just Coach Prime. Yes, Coach Prime was the first step. But are we going to give him the time to get better than that? The problem with the Cowboys, and I'm sure you can say this too, is probably the way that Jerry Jones treats that team. I really think Prime wants a natty before going. I mean, it'd be great. 4 years, 4 or 5 years, win a natty in Colorado, become a legend, go to the NFL. I don't care at that point. Go for it. Go for it, because you make this job that much more desirable. We can get a great coach after Coach Prime. We can continue being a great program after he leaves, just like Jackson State is a great program. No matter what Jackson State people will say and how they don't give Prime any credit for anything anymore, and they just literally become the most jaded fans in the entire world. They can't admit the fact that Coach Prime made a difference there at this point. A lot of them. I'm not saying all. Hold your horses on that. I'm not saying all, but a lot of them, I see that constantly in my comments. Like, here's the thing. If tomorrow Coach Prime did announce he was going to the Cowboys for whatever reason, again, he's not. But if he did, I am not going to be some jaded fan that's going to come on here and say Coach Prime screwed us over, because Colorado is in a better position today than they were 2 years ago before Coach Prime. Even if he leaves today, even if a bunch of players transfer out, we are still in a better position than we were 2 years ago. I will say that as a long-term CU school. CU is a state school, buddy. I'm from Colorado. The University of Colorado is a state-funded school. It is the University of Colorado. It is absolutely, he is a government employee. We've talked about this before. Just FYI, it is 100%. You can go look it up. The University of Colorado he's a state employee. Coach Prime is a state of Colorado employee. If you don't believe in Matt as a person, why would you want him around young men? He has some very questionable things. Opinions, yes. If he can tone it down, then fine. Again, that's probably why he had an hour conversation with Coach Prime. They probably did talk about those things and how he would manage them. When people get into certain professional settings, they can change the way that they behave at times. They can. Let's be honest, TZ. I love Warren Sapp, and I wanted him more than anyone. There was a lot of people out there that didn't want him because of the baggage that he carried. We know how that worked out. He's been great, had no issues this year. There is that risk always with those type of people. Cowboys got the 12th pick. They would have to give up everything for the next 3 to 4 years of the draft pick. And more than that, plus what are you going to do with Dak? By the way, guys, if the Cowboys trade Dak, they still have 90 plus million in dead money. If they cut him, which if I'm a team, I don't want Dak in a trade. No, I'm going to force the Cowboys to cut him and eat that dead cap of $151 million if he's cut. Either way, they're screwed. I'm telling you, there is no way that it doesn't work. Like, Dak is their quarterback next year, guys. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is. Bunch of soft folks in the comments. Oh, he said a bad word. You clowns are soft. Scattaboo would instantly make the Cowboys better, plug and play. Hey, that's a great pick at 12 or further down. 100%. See you in the mud if they lose Prime. I mean, we're not going to be as good as we were, but we're also not going to be, guys, we would be in the pack. Well, we'd be in the Mountain West at this point, if not for Coach Prime. The Big 12 took Colorado because of Coach Prime. So we are in a better position, in a better conference than we would have been had we not had Coach Prime. That's what I mean when I say that we are in a better position than we would have been. Jerry thinks he's owned coaches and players on and off the field. What did Brandon say? I love Jay Witt or the DC from Detroit. Those are good ones. Coach Prime is where he's most beneficial and successful in the college football stage, and he has the ability to have control what happens. And that's the reason why I think he's going to stay. I think right now is not the time to make that move. I think there is a lot going for him at Colorado still. There is no reason to change it up at this point. The next level after Colorado is not another school in college because he's getting everything he needs here. The next level would be the NFL, and I don't think he needs to make that jump just yet. I don't. Someone thought CU was private, I guess, or maybe not associated with the state at all. CU is a state school. It doesn't have state in the name, but it is a state school. And again, coming from a guy who grew up in Colorado, Colorado was one of my state school options. I get in-state tuition at Colorado. It is a state university. Well, the kids are silly. Matt won't be able to control himself. I mean, he's toned it down a bit, I will say, guys. He has not been as outspoken as he has been 6, 7, 8 months ago when he broke the bridges with DNVR and that stuff. He hasn't really done that many things that have been out there. But that's just where it's at. So big bro, again, with your comments, the Cowboys comments, this comment, it's not a money thing. It is not a money thing. Okay. It is contract language and what the school is allowed to do. Like Coach Prime could ask for in his contract, I want a completely new training facility. I want this. I want that. The school can't just say yes to everything. They can't give him a blank check. Okay. One, they don't have unlimited funds. You got to be smart with it. You can't completely handicap your entire school to hire one person. Okay. They want to pay him what he's worth. They will pay him what he's worth. It's probably in the range of $10 to $15 million a year. It's the other things that are being negotiated right now. Hundreds and hundreds of pages saying that, if Coach Prime wins a national championship, how much money is he getting then? We got to negotiate that. If Coach Prime gets to the Big 12 championship, does he get a bonus? If he wins it, does he get a bonus? How many bowl games does he get a bonus for? What is this? What is that? Okay, what are we promising him that we give here? How much money are we guaranteeing to go to NIL every single year? How much money are we see how I just keep going on? There are millions of things they have to negotiate in this college contract that is not the same as the NFL. It is not a money thing where the school's like, we don't want to pay you $10 million a year. I guarantee you that the contract started with a salary that Coach Prime liked. From there, they're working through everything else. Really, only thing Matt would have to change would be in front of the media cameras. Exactly. They can always edit videos and things like that so he doesn't show up anywhere else behind the scenes. Dallas could make a deal with Tennessee, giving them Dak in next year's first round to move up to 12-1. And Jones, that's not going to happen. Did you hear me earlier? Your comment may have already been over. If they trade Dak, Dallas still has 91 million plus in dead cap. Okay. 91 million plus in dead cap space trading Dak. And if you think that a team wants to take on Dak Prescott's contract at this point, with him not proving that he is the best quarterback in the entire league, he's getting paid as the best quarterback in the entire league, by the way, his new contract that they doled out to him. And you're going to regret that very quickly when the fact is that he is not performing at the top 3 level, okay? He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Jake Allen. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar Jackson, but he's getting paid more than those guys. I'm sorry. Tennessee is not going to take Dak. Take Dak with that contract or take Shador with a rookie deal and build a better team around him. You tell me what you would do. Most people in the chat, I have a feeling, would take Shador and money over hampering themselves with Dak Prescott, because can Dak Prescott change the entire franchise? No. Can Shador Sanders change the entire franchise? Probably not. But they'll have the money to help him change the franchise. All I'm hearing is don't hurt the players' feelings. I think Prime can possibly change Matt's form. I think he could too. I think he can make it work. Cowboys don't need to trade up. Number 2, don't want to go to Cleveland or Tennessee. I don't know if he's going to get a say. It's not the same league that it was when Eli and Elway did the same things, guys. They've been talking about that on all of the channels as well, that it's just not the same thing, guys. It would not be easy for Shador to hold out for that. Now, what Shador could do, as crazy as this sounds, he could come back for another year. Can he? Does he have an extra year of eligibility? Was he there during COVID? Does he have a COVID year that we don't know about? Does he have a 5th year? I think he does. He was at Jackson during COVID. Really, the only play he has is, if you want to draft me, I will go back to college. Tennessee could use Dak more than Cam. No, not with what it brings. Not with what it brings. Again, the Matt y'all see on YouTube is different when working with these kids, and that's why these kids, young men, love working with him. 7 most greatest linemen are nasty when working with him. Matt's self-employed. He says and does what he wants. When he's employed by CU, you have to put a filter on. Absolutely. If Prime leaves today, it would be nothing on team but long snappers and kickers. Yeah, but we'd still be in a league. We wouldn't be in the Mountain West. We could try and build something around that. I think Prime can, yep. Again, all little kid. Oh, here we go. Big TZ and them going back and forth. Oh, guys. I'm sure Matt knows how to code switch. What's up, Northside? Appreciate you dropping in. Matt works with high school football team. I forgot the name of the high school, but his son plays there. I know the high school because my ex-brother-in-law played there, Mountain Vista High School in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. The Mountain Vista Eagles. I have seen them play a number of high school games, and I lived not very far away from that stadium in Highlands Ranch. Yes, his son plays at Mountain Vista, and Matt does coach at Mountain Vista, which, let me just tell you, as a high school coach myself, the amount of filtering I have to do, I mean, I say one curse word, and I've got a parent going to administrators in this day and age. So trust me, he'd be fine. He'd be fine. We vote on CU Board of Regents. It's a state school. Thank you, Randy Hayes, for confirming that again for that person. I don't know why they thought that. Prime need an O-line coach that's going to stay at CU. Northside, that's what we're talking about. Matt McChesney would technically be that. He's not going anywhere else. Matt is probably the best coach if you want someone who will stay for a long time. That's the key. The coaching pool amount is important to Prime as well. Yep, that's another thing that they would negotiate. How much money for coaches, increase that, give their coaches pay raises, put more coaches on staff. All things that they want. Exactly. I don't think Tennessee does. I don't know any team in the NFL that wants Dak Prescott right now. And it's not because of his skill, guys, by the way. I'm not saying that Dak Prescott is a horrible quarterback. But between his output and that contract, that's going to mess a team up. You pay a guy that much, they better be your best darn player on the team each and every year, or you're in trouble. You're in trouble. That's why I was surprised that they even re-signed Dak. I thought they would let him go and let him go to the highest bidder. I have a feeling Jerry and Coach Prime would butt heads with how Coach Prime runs the show. Jerry wouldn't let him do that on the Cowboys. They very well could have talked about that too. Because having staff turnover every year, not good for the players. And that also, I forgot, Swalzy. I said that in my video, by the way. Again, go watch the video on my channel. He has a no trade clause on top of that. Do you think he wants to go to Tennessee? People just don't look at everything involved. They just think with their heart, not with their brain. And they say, oh, they can trade him for Shedeur. It's easy. It's easy. I mean, Adam Schefter said it this morning, guys. He said they are not trading for Shedeur. Dak Prescott is the quarterback of the Cowboys. There's nothing that they can do about that. So if Coach Prime wants to come in and coach Dak Prescott, then he can. If I'm Tennessee, I take Shedeur Sanders and the money to get additional players. Exactly. That is a much better option. Go look at the teams that have had rookie quarterbacks on rookie contracts and how many of them go far. You look at Joe Burrow. You look at Patrick Mahomes when he first started with the Chiefs. You look at those guys, Josh Allen when he first started with the Bills. You can be a much more successful team with one of those top quarterbacks if you build around them. And if they're good, they have to be good. The problem is sometimes it's a miss, but it's there. This is my husband's phone. I'm true blue Cowboy fan. Jerry and Jones should turn over the Cowboys to Charlotte Jones for business purposes, and she would give Will McClay the true GM run. Appreciate you commenting on his phone. That is a smart and understandable Cowboys fan right there. Understanding what's going on. Okay, understanding what's going on. Absolutely. I wonder the CU alumni don't want Matt involved with the team. I don't know. He's always been around the team, so obviously people are okay with it, I think. Okay, so Shedeur does have a COVID year. So, I mean, he has one card to play, which is he could say, I'm going back to college for another year and come back to the Buffs. Could you imagine if that happened? That would be insane. People need to be careful proclaiming what a person is incapable of doing. The same people crashing it on Matt said Sapp wouldn't be a good tire. And Replica, I said that a little earlier if you missed it too, when people were saying that about Matt and what he's able to change and do. I wanted Sapp as a coach. There was a lot of people out there that said they didn't because of his background and history. There was people at the school that didn't want him. And obviously he came in and he was an upstanding citizen and a wonderful coach. And everybody, it seems, on campus absolutely loves who he is and the energy that he brings. And so they gave him a chance. And 100% you were right there. Has everyone forgotten Coach Prime said he doesn't want to coach pros? It's about money. He got that. He wants to shape young men. That's his purpose. Antonio, I agree. He's kind of been changing his tune recently when it comes to that pro. So I think eventually he might. I think it interests him, especially the idea of continuing to coach his kids. But I don't think it's this year. I really don't. No one's getting blocked. No one's getting blocked, people. These people swear Colorado won't be able to bounce back and hire another good coach. RG got the blueprint now. I would be interested to see who we'd go after. Like, who knows? Maybe we go after one of Coach Prime's buddy. Maybe we get Ed Reed in. Maybe we try and poach Michael Vick, Deshaun Jackson. Maybe they start doing well at the lower levels, and so we bring them up to be our head coach, and they can follow in Prime's footsteps, and Prime would help them transition and be a part of that. That's an option, guys, that we're not thinking about here. That's an option that we are not thinking about, because if Colorado lets the other guys do the same thing as Prime, who knows? Maybe they can be successful as well. Dak has that no trade clause. Cowboys fans forget about the incentive in his contract. They forget all the stuff about his contract. They don't realize the dead money. They don't realize what that means. If I hear another person say, well, the Broncos had the dead cap with Russell Wilson and they did just fine this year. Okay, here's the problem. The dead cap for Dak would be more than even that, and that was a record amount, okay? $80 million dead cap the Broncos had. Dak, if you trade him, it's over $90 million. If you don't trade him and you cut him, it's $150 million, almost double what Russell Wilson is. Does anybody know what that means on the salary cap? They wouldn't be able to fit a team together. They would have to go out and get all veteran minimum players to fill the roster spots. You want to talk about the worst team in the history of sports? It would be that team. And Shedeur Sanders would have to play behind it. That would be so bad for him. But nobody wants to talk about that or think about what that means. They think, oh, it's just fine. We'll be fine with it. We'll be okay. Give us the dead cap. Prime example, look at the amount the Falcons paid Cousins, and now Penix is the starter. And that was such a huge mistake. They shouldn't have done that. They should have just drafted Penix and used that money to make it better. And everybody said that when he got drafted. They said they're setting up Penix to fail because now they have this guy with a ton of money who's not playing up to his contract, and now they're completely screwed. Teams just throwing this stuff out there. This is it right here. All these, I think some of the GMs in the league right now are thinking they're playing Madden at this point. The Falcons are a great example of that. So I guess Duke was lying when he talked about Colorado needing to pay Prime. I'm pretty sure he knows. What are you talking about? They are going to pay Prime. They're wanting to pay Prime. What? When he talked about that, he meant, yes, they need to sign him to a new contract with more money. That's what they're doing. They're negotiating our contract right now for more money. I literally talked to Philip Dukes about this very thing. I don't know what's going on. Big bro, you're having some interesting comments today for sure. Tennessee's not going to F with Dak. They might go get Cam Ward or Hunter. Yeah, they might. If Prime leaves CU, would be good. Prime won't allow an exodus to happen at CU. No, and I think he would put a coach in place to make sure that didn't happen. Just take Prime on his word and live on it. Exactly. We have to talk about it because everybody keeps freaking out, but that's where we're at. Do you think Prime holding out to get more money for his coaches? I mean, I think it's a multitude of things. I think he is just doing negotiation tactics, guys. This is what good business people do. Smack Entertainment is a good business partner, a good business management company, and they are going to get him the best possible deal for everything. There's other things that are involved, by the way, in college deals, okay? Country club memberships, houses, cars, all that stuff can be added into deals. So to think that that's not something that's going to be happening right now, I mean, they could put in a contract stipulation that they'll build him a lake at his new house in Colorado so that he has a lake here for fishing too. Like that could be all stuff that they throw into that contract at any point. First time here, love the conversation. Look at us and Kirk Cousins. No other team would want his contract. And you get it too. I mean, that's the point. You take a big risk paying your quarterback. He better be the best option that you've got. There are not many top quarterbacks out there that deserve a contract like that. And I don't know if Kirk Cousins was that guy in the first place. Appreciate you, D. Hicks. Thank you so much for joining in. Appreciate the first time comment. What's the window to go back to school? Well, they're already back for workouts. Is that what you mean? Or are you talking about like leaving the draft? Kruger, let me know. I'll read your comment if I see it pop up. At this point, I'm starting to want to see the results of him going to the Cowgirls. I think it would be a dumpster fire. I really do. And I think that's why he's not going to. I was going to talk about this north side here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and transition really quick to this, guys. I want to transition to this because I know that you guys are, still going on about everything that's going on with the Coach Prime, the NFL. Let's talk about some fun things. We had 3 offers given out today within the last couple hours, including one of the top players in the state of Colorado got offered. And you guys are going to love this. You guys are going to love this guy 100%. Because it's what a lot of you guys scream in my comments of what you want to see Coach Prime in Colorado go after. And that is Tufanua Umukais. I think I got the last name. I think I got the first name right. He is from Cherry Creek, Colorado, which is a football power in Colorado. I know, not a big deal, but he is a top recruit. Defensive lineman out of the upcoming class. If you want to look at him a little bit here he is for 2026 out of Inglewood, Colorado. He is rated a 3-star 89. So on the cusp of a 4-star, could very well bump to that next season. He is the number 2 ranked player by 24/7, and he is the composite number 3 player in the entire state of Colorado for 2026. This is what we talked about with defensive linemen, offensive linemen. Colorado is a state that pushes out a lot of 3-star guys that develop and become very good Division I football players. Do they usually start year 1? No. Year 2 and year 3, do they come on and become very good players? Yes, a lot of them do. And so here we go. He just got offered by Colorado this afternoon. In fact, Colorado offered three defensive linemen coming up in the next couple of classes here. The 2026 Titan Davis and 2026 Vodney. Cleveland also got offered by Colorado. Just real quick, going back to Tufanua, he has also been offered by Michigan State, Texas, Arizona State, UNLV, Charlotte. You can see his offers are getting better and better. It's because he has improved year after year. One of the best defensive players in the entire state of Colorado, guys, just so that you know what we're dealing with here. Overall, the 47th rate D lineman in the entire country, 36th on 24/7. So big time player. Then we go to Titan Davis, 2026 out of St. Louis, Missouri. You can see that he's been offered by Bama, Arkansas, Florida State, Illinois, Indiana. All of those things, we just offered him this afternoon as well. 4-star 90. He is the third-ranked player in Missouri, 212th nationally, 31st nationally defensive lineman. So very interesting. Not that far outside of Tufanua, Titan Davis, and then also Vodney. Cleveland also got offered today, guys, from Birmingham, Alabama. Of course, he's been offered by Bama, Arkansas, Auburn, but also that Colorado offer came in. He is a 91. He is the third-ranked defensive lineman in the 2026 class. So 3 guys who are top 50 D linemen in the country just got offered today for 2026. Big things coming for Colorado and what they are looking for going into next year, guys. So that is where we are at. Big stuff, guys. Big stuff. Coach Prime and his coaching staff are pulling players to Colorado like a bug zapper, especially if you have 1 to 2 years of eligibility left in college football. Colorado is in the spotlight. That's a big thing, too. If you need to make a point quickly, that is where we're at. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Your comments. Okay. The window to enter the draft, return to school. So here's the thing with that, Kruger. Before NIL, if you declared for the draft and hired an agent, you couldn't go back to college. That changes now. Give me a second. That changes now. Okay. So I don't know. We haven't really been able to see with that because technically you couldn't come back to college because you were already considered a professional, but now with NIL, I don't know if there is. I'm wondering if right before the draft, you could say I'm going back. I mean, technically Cam Ward declared for the draft and then came back to college when he found out his grade wasn't going to be good. Who knows if that's something that could happen? Just something we might see in the future. I don't think it's going to happen with Shedeur. I think he's ready to go to the NFL, even if it means playing for Tennessee or Cleveland or one of those teams. CU high school linemen as great late bloomers. CU needs an Oso, Tong, and O-line pipeline. Those big boys anchor the lines. That's what I like. That's what I thought you guys would love about Tufanua. Not only is he your, Tongan, Polynesian descent, you got a guy from Colorado as well. Okay, you got a guy from Colorado as well. Yeah, he nice. I've seen his film. Prime will be at Colorado for the next 2 to 3 years. That's my opinion as well. I think 2 to 3 years. I think he sees out Julian Lewis. I do. I think Julian Lewis is kind of his goal. Let's see Julian Lewis to the NFL, and then I'm going to jump ship. I could very well see that, guys. I really could. Today is Coach Mac's friends and family, former players memorial. Yeah, it was this morning, I believe, AJ. Because I know DNVR was delaying their show to go to the funeral memorial this morning. So his contract will be massive, one of the best in the country. Yes, and I think it'll be a lot of incentives for the country to where he will be handsomely paid as the highest coach. But a lot of that will be incentives that I know he'll hit. Okay, I think that's what they're going to build it around. He has to see Julian Lewis all the way through before he dips. I think that's what it is. Colorado's NFL program is simple. Some kids may not come because they don't want that pressure. You have to have a pro mindset to come. And that's where the old school mentality is coming in with the coaches he's bringing in. 100%, guys. Yes. Facts, get Jew in the league, then ride off to the Cowboys in the sunset. I'd be fine with that, guys. I would be fine with that. shoot for that national championship. Stay till Julian Lewis is gone. Let's do it, guys. Let's absolutely do it. Most definitely got to stay till Julian is gone. Okay, guys, I'm going to cut it there. We talked about everything we needed to. Hey, hopefully now we find out who the O-line coach is. If it's Matt McChesney and we find out, of course, we'll talk about that. But, that's where we're at. We'll get to all that stuff later. Relax, okay? If you're in the chat fighting and arguing with one another, relax. It's going to be okay. Everything's fine. We got to have some patience. I know it's hard. I know we live in a society of instant gratification. Everything will be okay. We're going to make it through this. The team's going to be looking great. We're going to go into next year feeling really good about what's going to happen. And I have good feelings about what will happen next year. And like I said, I think once we get this coaching staff figured out, I think a lot of you guys are going to be very, very pleased with who we have on staff. And it's going to attract some big-time players, guys. It is. We are going to be a very attractive team for top recruits for the next several years, which is, again, why I don't think Prime is leaving. So while you're here, appreciate you guys, especially if you're a first-time viewer. Of course, if you want to comment, I turned on subscribers only to help out a little bit with the chat. So if you want to chat, subscribe to the channel. Of course, hit the like button on your way out, guys. We were over 700 today in the video. So make sure you hit that like button. And until next time, I will talk to you guys later for Buffs News Weekly. I'm Russ Dornish. Go Buffs!